I think the character of Vanessa sucks so much. And it's crazy because, she started on the show as a caricature, but then they were making some really good progress with her. But ever since Doug died, the past few months, Vanessa as a character gets more and more pointless to me. I think she is a failed character. What's up, everybody? Here to talk about today's Tuesday episode of Beyond the Gates. And if I had to sum up today's episode, I'd probably sum it up in a yawn, because that's how I felt about today's episode. And I know there are occasions where there's people in the comments that are like, why do you watch the show if it's so boring? And then I have to ask myself, why are you watching my video if you don't like what I have to say? I have to be honest in my opinions, and if I wasn't, I wouldn't have a YouTube channel. And my honest opinion of today's episode was it was boring as all hell. I don't know if anything worked for me today, if I'm being completely honest. Let's actually start with the Anita and Tracy scenes, which I thought were poorly done. This is the first time in the Anita cancer storyline where things weren't making a whole lot of sense to me. It felt very out of character for Tracy to be the ones in these scenes to try and get into an argument with Anita that she's not taking this cancer seriously, or that she's basically trying to do too much and be too strong. And then we have to have these long old diatribes by Anita about how she is strong. I don't know. It felt very out of place and cheesy, but most importantly, it was out of character for Tracy, which has been a trend in recent weeks. We saw Nicole being out of character when it came to Christmas Day, wanting to confront Vernon about possibly having an affair in front of the whole family. And we saw Danny out of character going with Vanessa, trying to get the guy to do sex work. And now today I felt like Tracy was out of character. If it was Sharon, I think maybe the scenes would have worked better. Maybe it was supposed to be Sharon and they couldn't get the actress. I don't know. But yeah, those scenes didn't work for me. It was like too contrived, I think. Now, towards the end of the episode, when Anita was ranting about all the things she wants to be around for and still alive for, with all the things in her family, that was more realistic. Those scenes hit more home for me with good acting from Tamara Tooney. But yeah, out of place with Tracy being the one getting into an argument with Anita, who has cancer. I don't think Tracy would have done that, frankly. Let's move on to Marcel meeting with Joey today. Joey doesn't want Elon, the chief of police, cleaning up his street since Elon has gone public with saying that they're going to be harder on crime and clean up the streets in the area because apparently that's what the mayor wants done. So Joey wants Marcel to keep an eye on that and make sure his street doesn't get cleaned up. Joey was going on and on about how Vanessa has something better than the mess of a drunk that she used to have. There was slight tension between Marcel and Joey, which I feel like there's always slight tension between them, which is why Leslie and Marcel hooking up becomes interesting, because she might get info out of Marcel about things Joey has done, like, have Doug killed. And I think when that information comes out, if Leslie is the one that gets that information, which I think is possible because Leslie has a way of getting information on this show, at least that will be interesting. But I don't know if Joey and Marcel were necessarily interesting today. I feel like the problem with today's episode is like it was a filler episode. A filler episode in the way of like none of the plots had important movements today. Joey wants Marcel to start looking out for Vanessa and keeping an eye on Vanessa more. This happened after Vanessa called Joey that something was wrong, which we'll get to in a second. Marcel is seeing, though, that the friends with benefits relationship between Joey and Vanessa has certainly evolved, so more people seeing that. As for Vanessa, she started today's episode with Nicole, telling Nicole that drinks were on her today. Nicole took a shot at Vanessa, saying that because Vanessa was talking about how she made more sales and has more money to spend. So Nicole said Vanessa made another sale with her heartless boyfriend, taking a nice shot at Joey. This is, of course, when Vanessa learned about Anita having cancer and that Nicole might have the gene. And Vanessa got upset that Nicole wasn't using her power as a Dupree and her money as a Dupree to get her test results quicker. Nicole saying she doesn't like to use her money that way, and that unfortunate people with less money deserve their time with getting their test results in time too. That she understands that people need to get their test results in front of her. It's all done in a timely manner. Everything about this conversation brought into question as to why isn't Nicole trying to help Samantha get the free clinic? Why did Samantha go to Leslie, go to Eva, so that Eva would go to Leslie instead of Samantha going to people within her own family? That really shows that the Leslie free clinic storyline is pretty contrived with where the writing is concerned. But yeah, Vanessa was sad after that and went crying to Joey, where Vanessa then convinced Joey to, in fact, get involved with the free clinic, even though he doesn't want to get involved with Leslie's plans. But Vanessa is the one to convince him to do that, saying it could be like a tribute to Doug. And Joey gives in to his woman because he has a hard time saying no to Vanessa now, apparently. I think the character of Vanessa sucks so much. And it's crazy because, she started on the show as a caricature, but then they were making some really good progress with her. But ever since Doug died, the past few months, Vanessa as a character gets more and more pointless to me. I think she is a failed character. Because, what is her motivation? What is her meaning? One episode, she's still allegedly sad about Doug's death. The next episode, she wants to go public with Joey, and she wants to be out there in the public no matter what they see about her and Joey. Even though she knows Joey is a thug, she still wants to go public with that. But now she wants Joey to be a good guy. She knows Joey's a thug and she doesn't care to be seen in public with Joey. But now Joey can be a good guy and be a part of a free clinic. The Vanessa character does not make sense to me. Maybe someone in the comments can explain it. I don't really think you can, though, because the character's all over the damn place. I've had more people in the comments try and defend the Kat and Tomas relationship than defend Vanessa, which tells me that the majority does see Vanessa as a very failed, very not watchable character right now, and that's exactly how I feel. After Nicole's talk with Vanessa, she ran into Laura and Mona, who had some surprises for her. Laura wants to be there for Nicole like Nicole was there for her when she was in the hospital. It was good to see Laura and Mona be there for Nicole. That is, something I would expect those two characters to do for Nicole. They've been good to Nicole and vice versa since the show started. Izaiah and Eva had some scenes today. They were out having shakes. Izaiah once again talking about how he knows how Eva wants to keep it casual, but clearly the guy is down bad for her. He's telling her he's really feeling her, and they, by the end of the episode, made plans for a strip card game later. It's unfortunate that the Izaiah and Eva scenes have started to fall flat for me. It's because there's no substance or story there. For Izaiah being a new character, they're not doing a good job of establishing him as a character at all. In fact, in the 2 episodes that Kyle was on and the 2 or 3 episodes that Lynette was on, they did a way better job of establishing those two as characters. We got a whole backstory for Kyle that I think made sense for he and Nicole, even though they've dropped that since then. And for Lynette, she's just a very interesting character that makes Haley's character more interesting in general. But where Izaiah is concerned, it's something the show does so bad, especially lately, is they're always telling us things but never showing us things. They've tried to portray Izaiah as this bad boy that used to be a bad boy, but you wouldn't know it by the portrayal or the writing for him so far, which is why I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop with him in this Eva relationship. But Isaiah's already got sex from her. So I was thinking maybe Isaiah's just going to use her for sex and then move on. That doesn't seem to be happening. Instead, Isaiah's the one down bad. And I guess it goes back to the fact that this show does really bad with the male characters in general. They always write the male characters as weak, as dumb, as simps. And I think that's the problem here again with Izaiah. We saw this with the Andre character from Jump. They tried to tell us that Andre was this playboy, but yet everything they showed us was the opposite. He never came across as some player, especially when he was down bad for basic Ashley. That didn't even make any sense. And they're falling into that same trap with Izaiah now. The show has since done a really good job with Andre since they dropped the Ashley stuff. Andre has become one of the best characters on the show, so there's still potential for Izaiah down the line, but what they're giving him right now is like really falling flat, and it's making the Izaiah and Eva relationship fall flat too, because like, what's the story? What are we rooting for here? They're just two people falling in love, but I guess Eva maybe is going to be the one that keeps fighting it, but she's really not fighting it very hard. I don't get it. Last things to talk about. Martin and Vernon were on today. I mean, they didn't talk much. I was zoning out during their scenes. It was giving me the yawns, like I said at the beginning of this video. Martin was trying to distract Vernon with political talk, and I guess it kind of worked. He wanted Vernon to not be worried about Anita for some time. And then we got some Tyrell and Jessica today. It's been a while since we've seen them together. I don't know if they had great scenes today either. I mean, I liked that Tyrell is trying to not so subtly get Jessica to stay in town rather than go to UCLA. She's saying she wants to go to a big college to meet real people who don't care about what her father does. I mean, has she ever been to LA? I think people will care a lot about her having rich parents. But she's trying to get away from all that. They were having a disagreement about the debutante ball. But I did like, I guess, at least that they brought in Izaiah into this, since he does work for that Banneker College, for Tyrell to try and get Izaiah to convince Jessica to stay and go to Banneker with him. It made sense for Tyrell's character that he has been wanting to get Jessica to stay because he doesn't want that relationship to end. So at least someone today was in character. That was Tyrell. But a lot of people today were not quite in character. And it was one of many problems I had with today's episode. Hopefully we get something better tomorrow.